What is going on, guys? So Donald here with Elev8ted Gaming, bringing you yet another interview with our latest partner, ARK Elite, and server owner Eden. In this interview, we're going to be discussing the ARK Summer Update 2020 that just came out yesterday. So let's talk about it. How are you doing tonight, Eden?
Yeah, I'm doing really well. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. First of all, I wanted to welcome you as you just got your partnership with Elev8ted Gaming, and we're super happy to have you on the team and glad you could join us for this interview.
Thank you. Yeah, we're absolutely stoked. Really, really happy.
The first thing I wanted to discuss was Wardrum's recent rebranding into Grove Street Games. What's your opinion, and has it changed how you view their company in any way?
So I could be wrong, but as far as I'm aware, it's just that. It's a rebranding, it's a name change. So that doesn't really mean too much to me. And no, it hasn't really changed the way that I view their company. I mean, I've checked out their website. It's looking really fresh, but I don't think a fresh website and rebranding is what the ARK mobile community is screaming out for right now, especially in the PvP space. But you know what? They've brought these amazing games to the mobile platform, and we are talking about a free game here. So it has got its pros and cons, but at the end of the day, ARK Survival is an amazing game to have on your mobile. So kudos to them for making it all happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing it did for them was it really showed out the games that they've done outside of ARK. A lot of ARK players in particular didn't realize they'd done a lot of the Grand Theft Auto transitions to mobile as well. So I think it overall kind of expanded their brand.
Yeah, and to be honest, I didn't actually realize they were doing those games as well. So checking out their website was good for me. So I recommend everyone go have a look and see what else they're doing.
Absolutely. So the update released today, and I don't know if you ran into the same issue that we have, to where it has not went on to air servers yet. So anybody that is updated already is kind of stuck. Have you guys had that issue today, or did it apply?
Yeah, so the update went live for me overnight. So I'm just catching up this morning as well. We can get onto the server, we can access the character changes. There's a few little buggy things in there that we've picked up already, but for the most part, I think it's working.
That is good to hear because I know a lot. I don't know if it's just a North America thing, but a big portion of unofficial servers, including some of ours, haven't got it yet. So it's left some people in limbo, which is kind of crazy. But from my understanding, it's on Nitrado's part, so I guess it's just a waiting game, as it always is. So one thing they announced that they're having in this update is a new swamp dungeon and some increased loot and tech blueprints. Um, what do you think? Do you think the dungeons really needed anything extra, or do you think they were good as is?
Yeah, I mean, any change is a good change. I think it's good to have variety. I know that we have a few people on our servers that are kind of getting a little bit bored. We had a request to change the difficulty to brutal because it was just too much of a breeze for them. So I think any changes are good and it's good to have that variety.
Yeah, for sure. What did you think of the hairstyle changes with the beard and mustache, etc.?
Yeah, look, a mohawk and facial hair. It's not quite my jam, so I won't be using that. But the other updates, like the raft and platform structure limits, that's pretty cool for the rafts, but I do have some concerns about the platform limits, especially with the Quetz platforms in PvP. I've already seen a few comments floating around, about having RQ Quetz with double walled exteriors for raiding. I think it could get a little bit messy, but yeah, again, any update is a good update. We just got to roll with it and still be chill.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I agree with the raft because I mean, the raft was already all right, but it really gives you more freedom to build it a little better. But with the platform quets is really going to become an issue, in my opinion, especially in PvP, as you said.
Yeah, absolutely. It could get messy. So we'll just keep our eye on it, see how it goes. But, I don't know if these updates are what the ARK PvP community is needing right now. I mean, those of us that do play PvP, we need some serious updates focusing on, the use of scripts and exploits. I don't necessarily think that we need mohawks and facial hair right now. So there's definitely other things that could have been prioritized. But, we do have to remember it's a free game. We shouldn't get too wound up about it all. And I don't want to be one of those people who's whinging and complaining about every single thing. And there's already so many other players and even Discord channels solely dedicated just to tearing shreds off the devs and creating a bit of a ruckus. So it's a bit of a mess. It ruins the game for other people. There's definitely other patches and updates that needed to be prioritized, but they're doing the best they can, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. And one thing with me being a partner with War Drum, I can kind of say, a lot of people don't realize what goes on behind the scenes as much. I know Game Guardian is a big issue, um, and I know they have been working on getting that resolved since, I don't know, I guess about a month ago when a big portion of the PvP community started having a little uproar over it. And then a lot of the mesh spots on the map they can patch without updating. So I know they have fixed quite a few of those, and they've also patched a lot of scripting issues, but it seems it's more of an issue of people just being able to make new scripts. You know what I mean? It's like you're constantly patching over and over and over and over.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not a coder, I'm not a developer. I don't have the answers to those things. I don't know how to patch this stuff up. And I was actually reading an update from Becca this morning. And when I read that, it's clear that it's not an easy fix. This stuff takes a lot of time. And they seem to be aware of it and trying their best. I think we've just got to be chill, just keep doing what we can, enjoying the game. At the end of the day, it's a free game. It's not worth getting your knickers in a knot about it. It just sucks that there's groups floating around that are encouraging all this hacking and cheating and exploits. And they even promote hiring people to help with server invasions and the use of scripts. Like it's an absolute mess and it's ruining the game for good players. But yeah, it's frustrating, but we can't get too hung up on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as unofficial server owners, we kind of have an advantage over official with being able to go in and immediately resolve a lot of the cheating issues that are going on right now.
Yeah, and I think that's what unofficial really has going for it right now. People that are a bit worn out, a little bit over official, if you can get plugged into a good unofficial with good admins and server owners, hopefully you'll have a much better experience.
Absolutely. Now, with talking about our advantage over official, do you think the new Ascendant servers or the casual servers are really going to do much to, retain players on the official side?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, personally, I kind of think official could be on its way out. I mean, it's so toxic. There's so much hacking, there's duping, exploits, scripts. It's full of kids just running amok without consequences and ruining the game for other people. So I'm not sure if having casual or ascendant server options will really make a difference because, in a lot of cases, if you're not cheating, you can't survive. And people are getting sick of it. They're looking to play the game as it was originally intended. They want that thrill of PvP without the toxicity and the issues with hacking and unfair gameplay. So I don't know, time will tell.
Yeah, I completely agree. What do you think of the PvP balance changes with the flyer debuff and taking these spike walls off of rafts? Do you think that's going to, really make it that big of a difference?
Yeah, spike walls, that's a good idea. I think that's absolutely fine. The speed debuff, I am worried that it only affects legitimate players. I mean, scripts and hacks can get around that, as far as I'm aware. So I'm not sure if many unofficial servers will actually use that setting. Again, time will tell.
Probably my favorite thing about this update is the fact that they added a patch in to where you can't copy someone's name exactly in the server now.
I think that's a good idea. I think there's a few people floating around that like to, cause a bit of trouble, create a few tensions by imitating other people. So I think that's a really good move.
Yeah, I agree. I know we've had issues with people cheating and then changing their name to match someone else's, and you're kind of just throwing your hands up in the air about, well, which one of these people are the real person. So I'm really glad they added that. But I really don't know where I stand with the added XP changes. Like I feel like the XP multiplier was already good, and to bump it up all the way to 4, I mean you're basically, having zero work to get to level 100. I mean, I guess it's, a personal opinion for, whoever owns a server, but for me, that was one thing I didn't really think was needed.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm not sure if we will utilize that to the full extent on our server. I'm of the same mind. And especially for unofficials that already give a starter pack and some ascendant tools, you kind of hit the ground running, and you're off to a really good start. So it could essentially take all the fun out of the grind and the farming for people. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So I'm not sure what we'll do with that.
Yeah, another really good thing I think they added a lot of unofficial servers, give a starter kit, as you were saying, and sometimes that includes, like 10 levels or 20 levels, etc. And they did add in to where you could set a starting XP, which would automatically give that to anybody joining your server, and I think that's a really good add on this update.
Yeah, it is. It's a good update. It has its pros and cons. For example, if you only want to give levels in a starter pack to verified Discord members, which we do, it kind of means that non-verified people, trolls and other people, other randoms, can get those levels and get a head start. But yeah, it has its pros and cons.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the biggest benefit with that for us is our roleplay server because we automatically give a level bump in there, and well, the only way to get in there is by being in Discord. So it doesn't really affect us as far as verifying with that, but it does help us to not have to go in and give those levels manually.
Oh yeah, it definitely helps with the workload, that's for sure.
So enough about the update. You just got a partnership with us. You're already partnered with the Mobile Gaming League. How has that transition been for you from going to just a solo server owner to now being partnered on two different sides that are kind of shared at the same point? But how's that transition been for you guys?
Yeah, so the Mobile Gaming League crew, they're an awesome bunch of people, and we've really enjoyed getting to know them over the last couple of months. And Mark has done an amazing job of vetting and selecting a group of, really high caliber server owners, and we all share the same ethics and views on how to run fair and reliable servers. And we also have the same zero tolerance policy regarding duping and hacking and exploits, which I think is a real positive. And when I first opened my server, it was called Australia 18 plus, and that's because I wanted to play with people in my own country and my own age group. And we started chatting to Mark about server ethics and goals, and I learnt more about what MGL stood for. And I really liked this idea of a reliable and ethical server cluster, similar to Elev8ted Gaming as well, that won't disappear on you overnight, that has the freedom of gameplay, but just with a few guidelines and a few tweaks in place to help protect players. And that also has active oversight and moderation to help prevent that toxicity, that we were talking about earlier, and weed out those cheaters and hackers. So yeah, it's been a really good move for us. We've seen a huge spike in our numbers, in our players, and we've also received a huge amount of support from Mark and the other server owners within that cluster. So I think partnering with them has really benefited our server, and I'm a big supporter of what they're trying to achieve as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I know prior to our partnership with the Mobile Gaming League, and me and Mark would just sit down and hash out ideas of, what we thought was fair, and, what we both, expected from each other as far as ethics went, and what we allowed our admins to do, et cetera. We made sure we were on the same page. And I mean, it's been great working with those guys. They've helped us out on multiple occasions, with Discord events that we partnered with Wardrum through, and instantly got hit with like 5,000 people in our Discord at once, and they luckily stepped up and helped us moderate, and I mean that was a huge help. And then there's been some of the server owners that's helped us do our map for our roleplay server, and just so much more. So tell me more about ARK Elite. What are you guys about? What makes you unique, and what do you do differently than most unofficial servers?
Yeah, so ARK Elite was founded by myself and Zanti. We were we'd given up on official, and it's also quite hard to find a reliable, ethical, unofficial server right now. I think what makes us unique in the unofficial PvP server space is that we are genuinely committed to running a fair and ethical server, and we want to be free of admin abuse. We want fair gameplay. We hate the trolling and the griefing that goes on. And we want to be free of hacking and exploits. We don't want all that toxicity that's messing up the game for so many players right now. And I think we have a really good balance of, playing the game as it was intended to be played, but with a little bit of extra support to newbies who might need it. And we also do have oversight and rules in place to help protect the server and protect our players from too much toxicity and unfair gameplay. And we're really aware that too many rules can kind of kill the game a little bit, but at the same time we actually do want to be different to official. If you want to be toxic and annoying, our server just might not be right for you. I think official is the best fit for those kind of people that want to let their hair down and act like a bit of a brat. But we love PvP, it's exciting and it's fun, and we want lots of PvP on our server, but we want the right kind of PvP, actually skilled PvP without the use of hacks and cheating. So we're really firm on that, and that's what ARK Elite is all about. And I think this makes us a good option for people that want the thrill playing with other legends and a bit of smack talk and a bit of banter, but without those insane levels of toxicity that you can find on other servers.
Yeah, I completely agree. Speaking of cheating and hacking, scripting, etc., have you guys experienced any issues with that in your server? And if so, how have y'all handled it or tried to prevent it?
Yeah, yeah, we sure have. I mean, it's absolutely everywhere, and it kind of sucks that so many people have to resort to cheating to succeed and get ahead. And when we first started, we actually allowed transfers in and out of our server. We were super chilled about it. Really happy for people to come and go. It was no problem. But we just kept having so many issues with really shady people, pretending that they only wanted to bring their character across, but then bringing in an alt and it's filled to the brim with duped items and OP implants, and not only bringing them in, but using them as an unfair advantage to grief and foundation wipe tribes, and often just to help out their mates, just for a bit of fun. And it was just killing the vibe of the server. So it happened a few times, and after that, we just made a decision to shut it down completely. So no more transfers in and out. And that's a small way that we can try to protect our server and our players. And Also, our Discord is super clear that if we find any hacking or duping or script use, it's an instant and permanent ban. And we report our game IDs and Discord IDs to a ban list within our server cluster, so other people can also ban. And you know what? Hacking isn't cool. It's not a way to flex your skill at this game. It's kind of the opposite. I think if you have to purchase scripts to get ahead in the game, it more shows that you can't actually play the game, or even hiring people to help you invade a server. Like it's kind of lame. You're flexing in ways that aren't actually relevant to the game, and all you're doing is pissing people off along the way. So, but I guess people get off on being annoying. So what can you do about that?
Yeah, and I think that's really their main point is that they don't have any skill. So instead of just being able to go into the server and try to get better, they would rather try to ruin the game for everybody else.
Yeah, and it's just getting a bit lame now. I think people are getting over it.
I completely agree. Now, one of the biggest advantages we have with being unofficial are server events and Discord events. Do you guys do any special events in your servers? And if so, what kind of events do you do? Not only in your game server, but also your Discord.
Yeah, we love events. We actually have a dedicated events team that works closely with the admin team, and they brainstorm and host events. So a big shout out to Winterstorm and Jazz, who are our current event coordinators. You guys are awesome. Yeah, and these guys love hosting events, and they have that many cool ideas. It's super fun, and I think it takes the edge out of PvP as well. So we do a couple of things. We have Discord events, so in between server events, there's usually something happening in the Discord. So it could be like randomized giveaways or Discord trivia. And there's always loads of banter and smack talk and socializing in Discord as well. It's kind of like our little hub where we all hang out and get to know each other in there. And then we also do regular games on the map. So we try and host them fortnightly, and these could be like treasure hunts, scavenger hunts, admin raid base events, hunt and destroy events. And currently our team are working on a couple of really cool ideas. So we actually just had a dino arena where Winter gave us 3 weeks to tame or breed our weapon of choice. And then the other night we had a bit of a fight to the death situation, and that was a lot of fun. And they're currently working on a maze as well. So it's like a multi-level maze full of turrets and traps and hazards and really good loot. And the loot gets better each level that you get up to. And if you can make it out alive, you keep the loot. So, yeah, I mean, PvP can get a bit hectic. It's hard work, and sometimes it's hard not to get wrapped up in it all. And being raided isn't fun, but people play PvP for that thrill factor. So we do like hosting events to give players a bit of a chance to put their differences aside and come together and have a bit of friendly competition.
I really like the idea of having event planners, and I kind of just leave that on my admins to kind of take care of that. And I know they're already super busy as it is, so it's probably not very convenient for them. I'm really glad you said something about that because I'm probably going to implement that on my servers as well, if that's all right with you.
Oh, yeah, totally. I think it's a great idea. I mean, it frees up the admin team a little bit, but it also gives players an opportunity to step up a bit, have a bit of fun, and it's good for admin to work closely with players as well. There could be other opportunities that lead from that. So it kind of benefits everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one of the biggest questions that most people have when they're looking for a new server is there any admin interference in your server? And if there is, what kind of interference do you guys have? Or what do you do to try to moderate without overstepping?
So admin interference, yes and no, but only the good kind, if that makes sense. I mean, we do some things on ARK Elite that might be considered admin interference. So, for example, we do give new players a bit of a leg up by offering a starter pack and bumping them up to 70 levels. And we offer things like raid protection periods. So where someone raids a newbie, a temporary ban gets applied. It's just a standard rule. It's nothing personal. And the admin team also do communicate a lot with players via Discord. So we try to support where we can, but in saying that, we don't favour certain tribes or players. We don't raid or engage in PvP. We don't get involved in tribal disputes. You know, we try to keep the rules to an absolute minimum. And we are firm about our admins not abusing that position. So yeah, there is a level of admin interference in this regard, and support is available to people that need us. It's different to official. There is a strong admin presence. But in saying that, we are always looking at ways to reduce any interference because, you know, we want to play our own game too. We don't want to get hassled every time we log on. We want to run dungeons, we want to breed and have our own fun. So yeah, we try to keep it to a minimum, but there is support to people that need it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, that's really just the good kind of interference. I mean, you're doing enough to moderate without, using God console to raid players or giving mats to, friends, etc. That's the main thing I think a lot of people look out for. And there are some unofficial servers that are really bad for that.
Oh, yeah, it's shocking. And I've actually played on quite a few unofficials before starting this where that was happening. Admins were stealing from players, hooking their friends up with mats and rockets and all sorts of things. It's just a mess. So I just recommend people trying to find a really good unofficial server where there's strong rules and guidelines around that.
Yeah, I completely agree. So the last question I have for you is, where do you guys see ARK Elite being in the future? And do you plan to expand and add more servers, or are you just looking to kind of maintain what you already have?
So we're hoping to see the server grow and become a really reliable alternative to the official options. And we want ARK Elite to be a reliable option for those players that are feeling, a little bit worn down from their experience on official servers and other, poor unofficial servers. But for me personally, at this stage, I'm happy investing my time and energy into this one server. I'm not looking to expand or add any more at this stage. I mean, we all work full time, we have lives outside of the game, and I personally don't have time to manage more than one. And there's already amazing server clusters around, such as mobile. And we partner with both of you guys, and I kind of feel like there's no point reinventing the wheel there.
Yeah, I feel your pain on having more than one server because it can be really crazy sometimes. Luckily, I have an amazing support staff that we have in place that pretty much takes 99% of my workload away when it comes to maintaining the servers. But I mean, just dealing with support on a daily basis that does get raised to my level, whether it's, hacking or anything else. I mean, it's a lot to deal with. But I've also learned over time that sometimes that changes over time. One of our other partners recently dropped another server today. Um, so, it's always something that is beneficial. If you get to that point to where you're staying full and you want to expand, but there's nothing wrong with maintaining what you have either.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're not closed off to it at all, but at the time being, I think we'll just focus on this and try making it the best that it can be.
Absolutely. Well, Eden, thanks for joining us tonight for this interview. I greatly appreciate it. And again, welcome to the Elev8ted Gaming team.
Thank you so much. We're absolutely stoked to be partnered with you guys. So thanks for all your support.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Welcome to Mobile Gaming League ARK Ultra. We are the longest running PvE unofficial server out there. We pride ourselves in having no structure decay on our server and no tames auto unclaiming as well. ARK Ultra consists of weekly or bi-weekly events hosted by our admin team and scheduled giveaways held on Discord every single day. We are a server who does not tolerate racism, sexism, bigotry, or any other forms of oppression and disrespect towards any members of our community. If you wish to join one of the most trusted PvE servers out there, please note that joining our Discord is required.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.